The Movies Made Us Do It. Me and Matt are back. How are you, Matt?
I'm pretty good, sir. Yourself?
I am excellent. It's been a busy week, and I was cramming. I was going to cram 2 movies in last night, and I did. One of them was fun.
Yep.
The other one is a film of the year contender. So I'm glad I did.
I've got a feeling that the film of the year contender might be one that I've seen as well. But
I'm hoping so.
If it is, I have mixed feelings on it.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, this should be fun then. Do you want to go first? What have you been watching?
Yeah, why not? I'll start with one of the fun ones first.
Okay.
So, I watched Palm Springs.
That was the film I didn't watch. So it looked fun. I like Groundhog Day. I like those kind of movies and those kind of ideas.
So there seem to be a sort of plethora of them at the moment. There's definitely a big surgence of these time loops things, with Russian Doll and Happy Death Day, that sort of stuff. And so, to be honest, so far most of them have actually been quite good. I don't think there's been one that's made me go, "Oh, that was bloody awful." Yes,
yeah, I agree.
I think for the majority of them, they've all had something a little different. Like Happy Death Day had its serial killer motif, which was good fun.
This one's like a whole island of people, right? Isn't like everyone stuck in the same situation?
No.
Okay.
So
what's the angle on this one? Because the trailer looked really fun. I was really tempted to watch this one, but
yeah. So it's directed by Max Barbakow. It stars Andy Samberg, Christina Milioti, and J.K. Simmons.
Oh yeah, good cast.
So basically, one of the things they do, which I really like, is they don't actually they do that great thing of going, you kind of know how this works. We don't really need to explain it too much to you. They just they do explain what's going on, but they just sort of do it, and you're like, well, that's okay, because we all know, we've all kind of seen enough now, I think, of those movies.
Yeah.
So Andy Samberg is in this perpetual wedding with a girlfriend he doesn't really care for.
Sure.
You find out later on that she's actually cheating on him. So
okay.
And you don't know how long he's really been there. I think by the end of it, you figure out he's been there for possibly centuries, reliving the same day. And he seems to have his at this point, he seems to have his routine down. He knows what he's doing. He dresses like he's at a luau, and he wakes up, he's got his beers ready, and he just basically, he goes through this.
He's been doing this for a long time. He knows he's ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's saving people when they fall over. He's like sipping drinks when people aren't looking.
He's at God level of Bill Murray in
pretty
Groundhog
much.
Day.
Yeah, exactly that. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows this thing, and he gives this big speech. And you're introduced to Sarah, who is the sister of the bride, who the family seems to have issues with. It seems that she's a bit of a drunk. She isn't sort of reliable, and
she doesn't want to be there either. I got the impression.
No, she really doesn't want to be there. She's the maid of honor, and she doesn't even realize that she needs to give a speech. So basically, she sort of. She does that. Andy Samberg sort of kind of saves her from doing this speech and gives this amazing speech, and they hook up sort of thing, and they're just about to sort of do the deed, as it was. And do I want to spoil? I don't think I want to spoil this, but
something happens.
Let's just say something happens, and the next thing you know, she's waking up in the same day as well.
Okay. So it's just the two of them, at least initially.
Yes.
Okay.
Not without trying to spoil anything. Well,
no, that's fine. Yeah.
I can't remember how much the trailer shows you.
Well, the trailer gave me the impression that J.K. Simmons might also be trapped there.
Okay, I was trying to remember whether that was the case. So yes,
because he kind of says at least you can leave or something like that at one point. I think he says. So it kind of gave me the impression that he was stuck there.
Yes,
he
is.
As well.
So I won't spoil the the relationship they have.
Sure.
But that he's there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So through a series of sort of like reveals and things, they basically through that he explains what's trying to explain the best he can what's going on, and that she's now trapped in here with as well.
Yeah.
And they do the usual, the sort of doing different things each day to sort of fill the day and all that sort of stuff. And then through a series of other things that happen, things, let's say, go wrong, which you expect in this sort of like, it's because it is a sort of, it's basically a rom-com.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the feelings are different, and what how they see the world are different, and all these other things. I really, because I don't want to spoil anything, because I think it needs to be seen.
No, that's cool.
I really enjoyed it. It's really, really funny. The jumps and things are done really well. They don't waste time sort of, doing.
Yeah, you're in a Groundhog Day movie. Here
exactly.
we go. Yeah.
Exactly that. They don't waste time with unnecessary stuff.
I think it's probably the first film of its kind where someone's already in that situation, apart from sequels, I guess. But
yeah, I think so.
Because normally they always introduce the trope and they go through it. Like a superhero movie, you have the superhero origin, and then
because you're sort of usually you're going with that person. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and it's quite interesting. They've got someone who's just like literally been there potentially for centuries and just doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is it's a really nice take on it. Andy Samberg, who is one of those actors that I find a little hit and miss. He's one of those sort of modern SNL guys that I don't know what it is about modern SNL guys.
It's just not what it used to be. That's the problem with SNL.
They all seem to have this amazing ability to be just annoying.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It seemed, I don't know whether it's just us being old and grumpy. Because SNL back in our day was glorious. Like it pretty much generated most of the best comedians of the time. And maybe I'm just out of touch. It's entirely possible.
However, that is it. What's the cop show he does? Oh blimey, what's it called?
I'm not sure.
Hang on, where is it? Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah.
So Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I again, is one of those things that I've watched a few episodes.
I've never watched it. I've seen a trailer.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's another one of those ones that I find the characters get on your nerves after a while. So
sure.
Most of his humor doesn't reach me. However, I found him really funny and quite charming in this, which is good, because if he was annoying, then you just couldn't. I mean, he's annoying in a sort of Bill Murray annoying way. You know what I mean? In this, it's that sort of. So he is kind of doing Bill Murray, if you like, really.
Mm-hmm.
But
I guess Bill Murray
doesn't great. You know what I mean?
I mean, Bill Murray is pretty much the way everyone, I think, would end up in this situation eventually.
Yeah.
Just jaded and just like, oh, whatever. Yeah. Like, I know everything. I mean, obviously, Bill Murray starts off Groundhog Day like that, but I think inevitably everyone would end up like Bill Murray.
I think so.
Ultimately.
You'd like to hope, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's really good. He's really funny. Christina Militoy is really fun as well. She's like really sort of spiky and really sort of funny and charming as well. J.K. Simmons is J.K. Simmons. He's just, I think
he's just
his
brilliant in everything he's in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like
it's effortless with him. It's just effortless. It's like even when he seems like he doesn't really care, he still puts in such a great performance. He's just that talented.
And he's so good at being like, he does comedy amazingly well, and he does like serious
very well. Yeah,
he's very well as well. He's an amazing actor.
Really is.
And his part in this is a smaller part, but it's kind of integral at times, and it's great. And all the rest of the supporting cast, you've got the guy who's currently Superman in the TV series. He's in it. And
okay. I've not seen him as Superman, but I've heard very good things.
He's quite good, actually. He
looks the part.
I still haven't seen the actual Superman Lois show yet, but I'm hearing good things.
I've heard fantastic things about that, shockingly.
But he's quite good when I saw him in Supergirl for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice time loop rom-com. Really,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's filmed really well. There's some beautiful little scenes in it that are just like, and some genuine moments where you're going, what the fuck is going on right now? This is fucking weird.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, is it them or is it real? Or and it's they don't give you the answers either.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's, come to your own conclusions. And I think the director has said, like, there's certain things that happen in the movie where he says, yeah, well, we want you to, think for yourself. Do it, you decide whether this happens or that happens, or whether what they're seeing is what they're seeing. It's completely up to you. And I really liked it. I think it was a highly enjoyable. It's an hour and a half, and it moves along really quickly. That doesn't sag at any point. It's just a really enjoyable little movie. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, great. I will definitely be checking that out. I might even check it out tonight. If I had time, I would have checked it out yesterday.
Yeah.
But I was distracted by another film, so I ended up going that way. So you've probably seen this movie too, but I didn't even know this was coming out. Found it last night. Love and Monsters.
I did indeed.
Directed by Michael Matthews, and starring Dylan O'Brien, Jessica Henwick, Dan Ewing. He's a fighter from Star Wars. It's this film.
Don't forget Michael Rooker.
And Michael Rooker. I was really gutted that he didn't come back. He's like in it, and then like he's in it for a bit, and I really wanted more with him.
Yeah,
I was a bit disappointed, but I don't know what you thought of this film. I thought this was really fun. It was just a bit of fluff.
Yep.
I get, as I'm sure I've said before on this show, dogs in movies stress me out because I don't want them to die. Animals in movies stress me out because I've seen a lot of horror and I've watched a lot of westerns, and it's never good, right? So
not usually.
It stresses me. And I enjoyed watching this film because I knew from the start there was no chance this dog was going to die. It was fine. It was a safe film for me to watch. The animal was going to be fine. So I guess we should probably explain the plot a little. So basically, there was a giant asteroid heading towards Earth. And the human race attacks and blows it up with missiles, and hooray, we've saved the day, except for a chemical fallout that happens due to the asteroid, and it makes all of the, I believe it's just the cold-blooded creatures
it
mutate.
Seems to be like lizards, insects, anything sort of creepy, crawly, and gross.
Furry.
Really. Yeah,
nothing furry
or mammalian.
Yes. So they all grow to giant proportions, not like Godzilla size, but big. Big boys.
Well, I don't know. There might
we
be
didn't
stuff
get. Yes, I suppose there could be.
I think there probably is stuff that might be that really that big. But...
Sure. And basically, Joel and his girlfriend are separated, and his parents are killed. It then skips 7 years later, and Joel is living in one of the colonies, which are like underground bunkers, with a bunch of other survivors. And basically everyone else in the bunker is pretty much loved up at this point. They've got a kid on the way, or a kid that is there now.
And they've got a new kid.
Yeah, and he's basically there on his own. And he's one day, 7 years later, he manages to reach Amy over the radio and discovers she's in a different colony.
Yeah.
Now, Joel is kind of useless, and everyone in the colony loves him, but they're all like,
useless.
You're just crap. And he's got this freezing problem, he says, where like if any danger happens, he just freezes up and he can't really do anything.
Yeah.
And he announces to his colony he's going to go and find her.
Yeah.
And they're all like, I think that's a terrible idea, Joel. That's a really bad idea for you to try and do that. But they wish him well, and off he goes. And it's about his journey, a 7-day journey across America, or across part of America. Obviously, not the whole of America. That would be good going. Across part of America to reach this colony where his girlfriend, separated of 7 years, is held. What did you think of this movie? I just find it really charming and just a bit of fluff. I quite enjoy it.
What I love about this movie? I love this movie is it's a family adventure movie.
Yes, it really is.
Doesn't have any agendas.
None.
It has
It's just
genuinely
fun.
lovely characters.
Yeah, I find everyone really likable.
The creatures are great.
Yeah, I really like some of the designs.
Some really like thoroughly hideous looking fucking things,
and some really cute ones. I really like the snail.
Yes.
The snail was awesome.
See, the thing is snails creep me out.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, it was, even though it was like kind of cute. It was also a snail, and that just
that's
no.
fair. That's fair. I mean, obviously the centipede was pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
But
I loved the designs. The frog was awesome.
It's the thing is it's a genuine adventure story of genuine character's journey from being, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but being useless to being not so useless. Let's put it that way. But
in the best way possible, and not in that way that everyone's trying to make movies. It's set in the 80s or 90s now. It's not set in the 80s or 90s.
Nope.
But it feels like a real sort of kids 80s movie with CGI. In that kind of, it's just a family adventure.
It's a real like throwback to those sort of like a Goonies or it's kind of like Zombieland meets Goonies, isn't it? It's got that Zombieland is very light-hearted, and but at times quite really gross and
this doesn't really go there.
This is a much more sort of family-friendly version. So you don't have zombies, you don't have like and even though there's sort of there's some sort of there's some horrific moments.
I believe they call it mild peril.
Yeah, it is exactly that. It's mild peril. It's not I'm gonna tear your face off. Sort of thing.
No. There was one moment when I with the dog, and even then I was pretty sure he was going to be fine. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's going to get out of this.
Was it the bit with the tree?
No, it was the bit. Oh, actually, the bit with the tree is the second part. The second one. I was thinking the bit with the centipede monster.
Oh, and the duck. That was like that. That I did find myself shouting at the screen, "Get the fuck away from the dog!"
I was a little stressed, but then I was like, about halfway through that scene, I was like, I think he's going to be okay. And then after that scene, I knew he'd be fine, because I was like, if that would have been the moment, and he's fine. But yeah, I thought every character in this was great. I love the colony that he comes from. I love the colony that they go to, the elderly colony where Amy's looking after them, and you got the crotchety old guys and
Bruce Spence.
Oh my god!
Amazing Bruce Spence. How awesome! I don't know whether this was filmed in Australia or something, but it was like they did have a sort of slight Australian bent to it, which I thought was quite funny. But I was so happy when Bruce Spence.
It is great. It's not the biggest role, but it's really funny.
Tiny role. He doesn't really do anything. Funny. But it's just great to see him.
And I thought Danny Wing as Cap. Such an asshole. He's like the guy you love to hate, and I loved that. Yeah, it was just great. I like that was just wonderful.
It's even the like the annoying characters in the colonies and stuff. Even they were charming.
Yeah, in their own way. Yeah.
They weren't sort of just horrible people. They were.
I liked the old guy when Joel kind of saves the day. The old guy who was like, I would have done it differently, but well done. Still can't just be happy. I have to criticize you in some way.
And I don't think I want to spoil the joke, but there's one funny a funny reoccurring joke that Joel keeps getting asked.
I loved that, and the longer it went on, the funnier it got. Yeah. I agree.
It's really, really good.
And I think that joke works because that would be one of the primary reasons for what happening. So it makes sense.
There's a beautiful moment with a robot as well.
Yeah. By the way, random robot in this movie. But yeah, that scene is fantastic.
It's a great little scene, isn't it?
It's difficult after Godzilla vs. Kong last week or the week before. It's very difficult to watch and watch effects, because the effects in that movie were stunning. But this does a great job, and that scene, particular the night scene with the robot. combined with the music and everything going on there, fantastic scene. I really enjoyed the world building that they did. When Michael Rooker and the girl, is it Ariana Greenblatt or Greenblatt? Minnow in the movie, when they're just talking about the different kinds of monsters and stuff. I love all that because we don't see them in the movie, and then it's like, oh, I really want to see those. Now. Can we see more?
The thing what I do like about the movie, like you said with the world building, there are scenes where, like, there's a really great shot at one point where they're walking along this sort of ridge, and you can see the sort of the lower part of the cliff face, and you can just see movement, like. In places, and you can see creatures, and there are lots of creatures in the background that they never really interact with
because the world's full of them.
Are just there, and it's exactly that. It's like it's so cool.
I really liked. I found it really funny when they were like, they say some sort of monster. I can't think what one it is, but they're like, "Oh, he's caught your scent now." And they're like, he's going to be following you for like days. But he's like, don't worry, it's really slow. So as long as you keep moving, you'll be fine. But he's going to keep following you. And at one point, I think they look over a cliff edge and they just see it slowly moving,
going through the trees,
meandering through the trees. Fantastic. I really, really enjoyed this movie.
And I love Michael Rooker. It's got that the great thing about when you camp, what you get at a camp.
Yes.
There's one of two things you get at a camp.
And then Joel's like, I didn't get either of those. Like,
it's really charming and really, really funny, and I really enjoyed it. It was honestly, I saw the trailer and I thought, oh, this looks like it could be really fun. And I think actually the same with Palm Springs. I thought these could be fun, but they could be. I might be awfully disappointed, and I wasn't with either of them. They're both really enjoyable, fun movies.
I agree, 100% with this one at least.
I mean, the one thing I forgot. I
was actually prepared to kind of probably turn this movie off within the first half hour.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
but I had a great time. I loved it. Sorry, what were you going to say about Palm Springs?
The one that I think that came to my mind that I thought that I forgot to say about the Palm Springs one was that feels like an episode of My Name Is Earl.
Oh, well, that's great. I used to love.
It's
at least to begin with. My Name Is Earl was fantastic.
The humor in that it's got a very sort of, it's like a feel of like that. And have you seen The Good Place?
No.
Oh man, you really should see The Good Place.
I
love that. That is a show that does not outstay its welcome. It's really good. Each season changes enough to keep you with it. And Ted Danson is fucking awesome in that series.
Awesome.
So I would highly recommend.
Okay, I would definitely check it out.
Love and Monsters, I thought was my only real problem with Love and Monsters is it keeps reminding me of that fucking awful Doctor Who episode.
I know it's literally well. I was going to say it's named after the worst episode of Modern Doctor Who, but then I thought about that and I thought no, actually it's not even close to the top anymore. But back in the day, it was the worst episode of New Who. Yeah, it's an unfortunate name, but a great movie. If you're in the mood for just a bit of fun, really good, and definitely something you could watch with the family. It's got a bit of horror.
Yeah,
light.
I mean, maybe very small children might be a bit upset by some of the creatures, but I think it would be it's what we would have watched as teen, young teen.
Totally. CG and modern filmmaking techniques aside, I could have totally watched this along with the Goonies back in the day or whatever.
Yeah.
It really does fill that void. It's good. I really liked it. Had a really good time.
I did as well. I highly recommend it.
So what else have you watched, Matt?
I saw Sound of Metal.
So did I. Go for it. You go first because I just talked about Love and Monsters for a while. So yeah.
So Sound of Metal is it's on Amazon. I think it was made a couple of years ago, but I think it's
2019. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were kind of waiting for theaters to get back and
they didn't.
So they've yeah. So
it's Darius Marder directed and I think also wrote. Yes.
The screenplay, and wrote by him and another guy, I think, or another two guys. It stars Riz Ahmed, Olivia Cook, and Paul Ritchie or Racy.
Racy, yeah, I'm not sure.
And it's about Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cook, who are a two-piece metal band, or yeah, I think
it sounded metal to me.
Yeah, it sounded very metal. He's the drummer, she is the singer and guitarist, and you introduce them to them when they're performing, and they basically have this. I think they're both addicts of certain things.
Yes.
They've been straight for 4 years, and they live in this camper van. But it's a really well equipped. It's got like a recording.
It's an
studio,
RV, isn't it? Not a camper van, an RV, which is a bit bigger. And yes, it's their home.
And they basically live in this sort of bubble of just the two of them.
Yeah.
And they have this routine. He gets up, he makes these horrible drink concoctions. He makes breakfast. He works out. He wakes her up. They drive to the next venue. They do their concert, and in the next concert, he begins to have sound difficulties,
hearing difficulties.
Hearing difficulties, and then very quickly his hearing completely goes. He completely loses it, and he goes to see a doctor, and basically the doctor says, your hearing it's gone. It's not going to come back. At that point, I think he has like 20% left, and the doctor says that is going to go very rapidly. You are going to be basically
you need to avoid all loud noise now.
It's like I'm a drummer. Like that, that's not going to happen. And obviously he loses his shit.
Yeah. He tries drumming again, doesn't he? After that.
Yeah. They do a concert, and even though he's taking cues from her, so he kind of knows what he's doing, but he can't hear anything, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
And basically, through a series of phone calls with his
agent.
No, I think it's his sponsor.
Oh, possibly, yes.
I think it's his sponsor. He gets a place at a deaf a rehab for deaf people, and
I think it's like deaf recovering addicts as well, isn't it? It's like addicts that are also deaf, which is run by Paul Racy's character Lou. Lou?
Yes.
No, sorry, Lou's girlfriend.
Lou is living. Yeah, Lou's his girlfriend. Joe is.
Joe.
Is,
yes, Joe.
Yeah.
Who's like a Vietnam vet, ex-alcoholic.
Ex-alcoholic, lost his hearing in Nam, that sort of thing. And he runs this sort of amazing rehab.
It's like a church-sponsored community, isn't it?
Yeah, they basically do stuff with a deaf school for children, and they help out there, and they've all got their sort of things. And through a series of events, you see him learning to cope with it, but not cope very well, because he's told by the doctor about a the cochlear implant, which he's told is very expensive. It's not
like 80 grand, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, it's not covered by insurance, and he basically thinks that this is going to be his life's, it's going to be a godsend to him. Yeah. So though he kind of immerses himself in this school, he's still planning on getting these cochlear implants. So what I will say is Riz Ahmed is fucking amazing.
Do you know? I honestly think that Riz Ahmed is amazing in everything he's even in Rogue One, where his character was rubbish. He was amazing. He was amazing.
That's his fault, though, is it?
No, exactly. He's still amazing in the role. He is a fantastic actor. I mean, I think I first saw him at Four Lions, probably the first time I saw him in. He's fantastic. He's one of those. In fact, I messaged my friend last night to say, I'm watching this. So far, it's fantastic. I was about halfway through. And he immediately messaged back going, yeah, Riz Ahmed's like an instant watch. And I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. He is like an instant watch, because he's going to be good. He's tremendous in this film.
Yep. Olivia Cook, although she doesn't have as big a part as I would have liked, I think I would have liked to see more with Olivia Cook. She, again, is fantastic in the role that she has. again, I don't want to give anything away, but
No.
there's the sort of the difference in her from the beginning to the end is so amazing, and
Yes.
it's so interesting. And the thing is that with it's a big character study of a guy whose life is being completely torn apart, and who is desperate to keep to that life,
Yes.
because it's the life that saved him. Without Lou as his rock, he wouldn't have been in the place he was in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul Raci is, again, absolutely stunning. He is so good as this guy who runs this this camp, camp, this rehab, and his performance is amazing. He's
tremendous.
He's not actually deaf in real life, but his parents were deaf, so he is.
I was going to say he does a very good job.
Yeah, he's the son of he's the son of deaf parents, and he actually is a genuine. He was a vet. He was an alcoholic, I believe, and he does work with the deaf community. So basically, he kind of is that character by the sounds of it. Anyway,
he does it very well, and some of his more emotional scenes were fantastic.
Yeah,
there's a scene where he tells Ruben that he has to leave for one reason or another. I thought that scene was really, really impactful and powerful.
And so tremendous.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
That scene, I didn't know whether to say what to say about that scene, but he is so good in that scene. He is absolutely phenomenal.
And his reaction after Ruben walks out of the room as well.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's an incredible performance. Mm-hmm. Really not a bad performance in this film.
The sound
oh my god,
in this movie is amazing.
I don't know if it won an Oscar for sound, but it's probably
bloody well should.
It's the best use of
sound.
Not
that I give a fuck about those things.
No, anyway, but it deserves an award ceremony. This deserves some recognition because whoever did the sound for this film is a genius.
Absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love what they did with the when the sound when you're sort of basically you're hearing what he
hears. Yes,
yeah,
it's done tremendously well, and I would say this film would be like far less effective if it wasn't for the sound in this movie.
Yeah,
the sound is absolutely stunning in this film. It's brilliant. It's probably the best in terms of sound. It's probably the best portrayal of of deafness that I've seen. To be honest, I think this film does an amazing job, because usually they do like stupid things, or a lot of the time anyway. Like I always remember in Daredevil, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, which is a terrible film, but but in that movie, it's like, oh, he's blind. How can we show blindness? And they kind of make the sound of it being deaf. And it's like, what are you doing? Why have you done that? Like, it's just really, really weird choices that people make when they're trying to deal with disability. Whereas this is kind of, I don't know how realistic it is to people having those issues, but I think we can all relate to it. Like, like I've had water in my ear before, and I've had, tinnitus before, and it kind of picks up on all of that stuff, and it really builds an amazing picture of what it might be like. Yeah. Because I guess it's impossible to know, isn't it? Unless you are.
I think so.
I think it communicates it extremely well. It's certainly one of the better portrayals of anything like that I've seen on film. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all of the performances are fantastic, and the way certain scenes are shot was really nice as well.
The framing in a lot of scenes is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a great shot where I think it's basically done to show the passing of time, and it's because you see the sky and the fields and stuff, and then the next scene he's already learned. So I think it was a really nice scene. I actually thought it was an interesting way of showing, yes, time has passed, and he's gone on. So one thing I will say is I think it was a little too long.
Possibly. I didn't find that. Although it is a solid 2 hours, so I can. In fact, oh my god! In fact, looking at the running time, it's exactly 2 hours. It's that's really weird. I just looked at the running time; it's exactly 120 minutes. But yeah, maybe I don't know. Let's see. Oddly enough, different to you. The only thing I was going to say I really and it didn't bother me that much, but the only thing I didn't really get a feel for in this film was the passage of time. And now you've said that, I feel like maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to that scene. But it's one of those things where, like, you know, as the rock star, he's got his hair bleached and all of that, and his beard, and that doesn't change. And so I it's kind of like he picks up all these skills, but I'm still like, well, is he still cutting and bleaching his hair? Because like it just, I couldn't quite tell how much time had passed.
I think that is definitely true. I think that the scene with the sky and thing, that was the only way that
I must have just not been paying close enough attention there. So I think that's probably on me. But I would have liked to have seen his hair grow out a little, or something like that.
I think that's true as well. I think there was the passage of time was a bit hit and miss, but so
I mean, it wasn't like I was confused. I understood it. It was fine. It's more a nitpick than anything, but. Something I did notice, I was like, how much time has passed now? Because he started to learn, obviously, sign language and whatnot. And it's like, okay, he's obviously sometimes passed, but still bleaching his hair. And
the stuff where he's with the kids and stuff is brilliant.
Tremendous
I love the
stuff, yeah.
You know, that because you feel like he's actually he's becoming part of this community. You know, he might even be accepting what's going on, but you know.
Old habits and old things, and his addiction to the limelight and to music as well.
Okay, so this is where I have a problem with this movie.
Okay.
Now, maybe I'm just talking out of my hat. I don't know, but so there is
That's what we do on this show.
A number of years ago, I actually watched a documentary about the cochlear implant.
Okay, so I know nothing about this implant, like at all.
So
it could have been like made up for all I know. Okay,
right. So this documentary I watched was a really interesting, and it's a controversial thing within the deaf community, because like they sort of say in this
bypasses
movie,
it doesn't actually use your ears, does it? It uses your brain.
It doesn't.
It just tells your brain about the sound, but you're not actually hearing.
You know, it's a very invasive operation. But they cut into your skull, and you know they attach it directly into your nerves. And what you hear is not the same as what you normally hear. So what you see, it's basically what the actual name of this movie is about.
Yes.
However, they do not portray that cochlear implant very well at all.
Okay, so I guess
for a start, the cochlear implant is covered by insurance in America.
Right.
I don't know why they said it wasn't. It is.
It's for drama.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing that I don't know whether I shouldn't be having this problem with it or not. But
maybe it's not covered by his insurance or something. I don't know.
There's also a number of other things. He gets two.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get two. Not like that. He would get one first, and after months and months and years of using the first one.
Again,
then
like, is that passage of time? I don't know. Like, yeah.
But I don't think it is, because basically he goes in, he gets no. I mean, he would get months of therapy with this.
Well, I assumed, yeah. And again, that was one of my only criticism with the film, was that, like, I'm not sure the passage of time here, how much time's going by, how much time is he away before going back, and so I agree with you there. I wasn't sure.
With the implant was very badly done, and I don't know whether it was because the director had a specific bent. This is going to sound bad. A specific angle for the deaf community that he wanted to show, you know, because I know that within the deaf community, the implant is seen as sometimes as a betrayal. It's of what, you know, because for them it's not a disability. They don't see deafness as a disability. It's just what they are.
And this movie makes a big point of that, actually.
Yes,
it really does.
But the thing is that I thought it was the way they portrayed it was disingenuine. because
it may be. I mean, to be honest, I have to put my hand up there and say I honestly know nothing about it to be able to kind of comment. But yeah, you may well be right.
It's one of those things that's not going to work for everybody, and it's not it's not going to give you the perfect hearing. It's not.
Well, I think I think they made it clear it was never gonna be perfect. I think he wasn't really listening, because when they mentioned that procedure, he's like, well, when can we get it? I'll just get it, and didn't really listen.
And I think that's maybe why I shouldn't have this view, because it's not the story they're telling. They're telling a specific story about his obsession and his holding on to his life. Yeah. So maybe it shouldn't bother me. Because the thing is, like I said, this is a great movie.
I thought it was
almost
fantastic.
Everything about this movie is really, really good. But there's this one thing that, for some reason, it's nagging at me. And
I can totally appreciate that now you've said it, because when you said it, when I was like, I think it's a film of year contender, and you were like, well, I've got a major issue with it. I was like, what can your major issue be? But of course, that makes sense, because I know nothing about these implants. I didn't even know if they were real. I thought it might have been a made-up thing.
Yeah, no, they are real, yeah.
So I guess I don't have, my ignorance has allowed me to be like, oh, actually, this is great.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. And the thing is because I don't really have a stake in this. No. I'm not deaf. I don't, other than, my grandparent, my granddad was basically deaf, but he wouldn't get hearing aids, and we spent all of our time shouting at him. But that was his choice.
Yeah.
That's kind of my only real experience with deaf people, and so maybe I shouldn't have this thing, but it's just something that sticks with me about this movie that really, I don't know. Maybe if I hadn't seen this documentary a while ago and
yeah.
It wouldn't have bothered me, but
and equally, maybe if I had seen that documentary, I'd feel differently. Having not seen it, I thought this was almost flawless.
That's the thing I have. The problem I have with the movie, because I think, other than that, it's a brilliant movie. That I can't take the performances away, because they're all fantastic. The sound is just so good.
It's honestly, I don't want to harp on about the sound too much, but honestly, I think it needs to be. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so good.
I felt bad for watching it on my TV. I felt like I needed like a surround sound, like a decent sound system. It's stunning. I think visually it's wonderful. I think they do some great shots. The framing's fantastic, and I also think they do some wonderful shots inside very tight spaces, like in the RV. I'm assuming they cut the RV apart to do some of those shots.
Yeah, that's what they usually do, but I don't know whether they had a budget for that.
Who knows? Yeah, it's 30 million, I think, something like that.
Oh, okay. So
I thought I read 30 million somewhere. But yeah, it was impeccably filmed, and the sound's fantastic. The acting's fantastic.
Great directing.
Yes, fantastic directing. I really liked the ending as well, which I feel like some people might have an issue with. I thought it was fantastic.
And that's the thing, is I like the ending as well. Yeah. I did like the ending. I
thought it said all it needed to say. Yeah. And I think they were clear enough as to where things were going. I don't know. I was watching it, and my first impression upon finishing the film was like, I loved that, but I bet a lot of people think that it just ends and doesn't really explain itself. Whereas I think it does, if you're paying attention to how people are and
I think people
are saying and doing. It's very clear what's happening, and
especially if you're listening to what Joe says.
Yes, absolutely.
Joe's kind of the key to I think the ending.
Yes, 100%.
Without trying to spoil it or give anything away, or to try to influence on your thoughts on the movie, maybe. I don't think it's got that. I don't think it's an ending that I don't think it's an ambiguous ending, actually.
I didn't either, but I did wonder whether, if you weren't really watching it, you might think it just kind of ends if you're paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things, especially towards the, I don't want to spoil anything.
I know it's really hard
towards
not to spoil
the end. Between Ruben and Lou, there is a lot that's said without words. Just put it that way. And once if you're paying attention, it's fine. If you're looking at your phone at that point, you'll probably miss it, and then be like, the film just kind of ends. I honestly, cochlear implants aside, my lack of knowledge on those, I thought this was a stunning movie. I wasn't sure what to expect. I saw the trailer like last week, and I was like, I might give that a go. Mainly, if I'm honest, because of Riz Ahmed. That was the main reason I was going to watch it. And I thought everything with the whole cast were great. Really enjoyed this movie. So
I think that's the thing. For me it is a great, fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But there's just something that keeps niggling at the back of my head.
That's fair enough. I think if I'd watched that documentary too, I probably would be the same. So I appreciate that totally.
But like I said, the thing is that it's not.
It's not ruin the
really
movie. It's just
about that. It's to do with his journey, and it's to do with that. But there is something that just seems slightly disingenuous about it, which annoys me.
And I agree if that's the case, because I feel like the rest of the film is very genuine to like hearing loss and the struggles of hearing loss. So I guess you're right. It's quite disingenuous if the procedure is the way you're saying it is, and I'm guessing it is, if you watch the documentary. So yeah, I see what you mean. It is a little, but obviously it was it's not really integral to the movie. It's integral to the message of the movie, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should have gone for some made-up experimental treatment, and then it would have been fine. Because then it would have been like, okay,
Yeah.
It's always difficult when you're using real-life things, because it's like, well, people know how this works in real life, so you have to kind of...
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things that bothers me. It's this like that. Well, I mean, the one thing is they tell you that it's not covered by insurance, and it is. That's one of the things that it's like. Well, what you just said there is I don't want to say the word. I don't want. It's a lie.
Is it covered by all insurance? Like in America, is it maybe his insurance doesn't cover it? Because you pay, I presume you pay for different levels of insurance, right?
I don't know whether it's all okay. I don't know whether it's all levels.
I mean, he does. You're right, though. He does say it's not covered by insurance, as if like no insurance will cover it. Instead of like because he could have said it's not covered by your insurance, which I guess would be a different thing. And so I said totally.
The other thing is also the way he doesn't actually explain to him that. What the deal is with it. Actually, he doesn't explain how it works.
I think he tries to, but the guy's just like, "When can I get it? When can I get it?"
Maybe that's just kind of walks out. It. Maybe it is a case. I mean, because I know that's what, like I said, that's the story it is telling because of it's coming from his angle.
Yeah,
but it does feel like I think it does a disservice to audiologists.
No, I can totally see that. I think if I'd seen the documentary you'd seen, we'd be having the same conversation. I think it's just my ignorance is bliss in this case, because obviously not being aware of it, I was like, this is great. So I totally can see that. Totally.
I mean, I the thing is that's the thing. So, like you said about the awards, I want Riz Ahmed to get awards for this. I want the
sound engineer. Jesus.
I want Paul Raci to get an award for this because his performance is so moving, so fucking stunning.
They have won awards. I just scrolled down on Wikipedia. They've won quite a lot, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it's just that weird thing that I have. There's just a weird thing that's puts me off.
It's difficult once you know something. It's like I know how that works, and I always think that like you imagine actual special forces watching any movie on any action movie, they must be like, this is doing my head in, like this is all bollocks.
One of my guilty pleasures is I can't remember what
Navy SEALs.
What no, it's
I was like, that's a hell of a guilty pleasure.
That movie is total trash.
It's great,
but
though.
very very enjoyable. No, there's a one of the things on YouTube that you can find is like real doctors.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes, there are, and they've got special forces
real
and
Marines and reacting to sort of moves, and some of them they're just so brilliant, the reactions, and sometimes it's actually surprising how realistic some of them are.
I was really surprised. I watched one on it was a fighter pilot. And he was reacting to some of the stuff in Top Gun and the trailer for Top Gun 2. And I was surprised how much of it was actually realistic, because I was like, this is going to be complete rubbish. And then it was like, oh, it was like, actually, I mean, some of it was rubbish, but he was like, most of it, for the most part, like, you know, what they were doing. I was like, oh, okay, like, fair enough. It's, you know,
and there were all sorts of there were ones with lawyers who were like working on like how the law works in movies and stuff.
God, I bet that's good.
some of them are just so funny. Some of the reactions of real lawyers or real surgeons are brilliant. And
I want a real surgeon to watch Face Off.
I have seen that. I'm
gonna send me the link to that. I need to see that.
There is. I'm pretty sure. There's just some really funny things. So you know, there is that stuff out there. So
yeah, they're quite entertaining. I have fallen into that particular YouTube rabbit hole myself.
Yeah, I mean, in most cases, it's a case of it's a stupid action movie, so who cares? You know, it doesn't. You know, something like Commando or like you said, Navy SEALs. You know it's bollocks.
Yeah, of course. And everyone on that film knew it was bollocks.
I don't think that takes away the enjoyment of the film. I think it's you just switch yourself off. Yeah. You're not really watching Navy SEALs to have a really accurate portrayal of the military, are you?
But at the same time, it is very entertaining seeing a professional actually watch it and on film and just give their critique, because obviously it's, you know, but yeah, so I mean, overall I absolutely loved this film. I had a really good time. I thought it was great. It was a nice 1-2 punch with Sound of Metal and then Love and Monsters afterwards, because I had all that kind of fun after to kind of you know, had a very serious film and then the opposite of a very serious film. So I had a blast. Did you any final thoughts on this one?
No, not really. Not just. I think, you know, I would recommend people really watch it, but I do think, you know, I don't know whether even to say keep in mind about that, but because I guess
a warning, if you know how that works, it might.
Yeah,
I guess is the warning.
It's a tremendous overall. It's a tremendous movie. It's tremendous performances, tremendous sound, tremendous directing. It's a great movie. So I would highly recommend it. Yeah, you know, other than that niggling thing that I have about it.
Yeah, cool. Have you watched anything else?
No, that's my lot.
And that's me too.
There's a few bits and pieces on
go for it.
News front. We have got where are we? Trying to find my stuff. Have you seen the Army of the Dead trailer?
The second one?
Yeah, what did you think?
Thought it looked fucking awful.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I was actually thought.
I actually hated it way more on the second trailer. I thought the first trailer I was having fun. The second trailer I was like, oh god. There's also a leaked script from 2007.
Too long, but, yeah.
And unfortunately, this seems to be going in line with the leaked script, which sounds fucking terrible.
Okay,
but we'll see. I mean, I said to my housemate, I was like, "Well, look, it's going to be free on Netflix. I'm watching it either way, and I hope it's good. I hope it's.
Yeah.
I really like Dave Bautista, so I'll definitely watch it.
I thought it kind of looked rubbish, but I thought it's going to look enjoyable. That's kind of the what I got from it.
So the leaked script and the spoilers, which I won't go into now, I'll tell you when we finish the show, if you want to know. But I don't think they cannot be going in that way. They can't, not in 2020. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
2021.
Now I want. I really want to.
Can't imagine they would do it, but the trailer seems to be going that way, and it is really dumb if they do. But anyway, that's So I wasn't a big fan. I'm still going to watch it though. Obviously, still going to watch it. You know, because it'll be fun if nothing else.
I suspect it might be fun. I don't know.
We'll
see.
think it'll be fun either way. I think it'll either be fun and really dumb, or it'll be actually just fun and a bit of a caper.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for. It's just stupid fun, really.
Yeah, I mean, I like heist movies and I like zombie movies. So in theory, this is fine. We'll see.
And the thing is I really like his Dawn. I thought his Dawn was really good. It's a really good remake.
The death of Suburbia in the opening of Dawn of the Dead is one of the best openings to a film. And I went into that movie wanting to hate it because I love Dawn of the Dead, and I was like, "Oh God, Zack Snyder! Oh no!" Honestly, it's tremendous. If you've never watched his Dawn of the Dead, it's probably one of his best movies, actually.
Yeah, I would agree with that because there's some genuinely nice touches in that.
Really
there's stuff with the baby and
that
the opening is fantastic. What they do with the kid is like, wow, they're doing it.
They went there.
It's like, okay, good. I'm always happy when they're willing to sort of like, have
really go for it.
Horrible kids and stuff, and it's great. So I was kind of hoping for more of the same.
Hopefully,
but
it will be
slightly sillier.
Hopefully, it will be. We need to bear in mind that the leaked script that's doing the rounds is from 2007. So, there is every chance it's changed. It's just it's just that the trailer seems to be hinting at it being basically the leaked script, but it may not be. It may well not be. It's been a long time, and they could have amended it. So, who knows?
So many moons ago, we were talking about the Renfield movie. So there was going to be a Renfield movie.
Yes.
With Dexter Fletcher was going to be directing. And it was going to be a modern setting. So I guess it was going to fall in line with the current, with the Invisible Man and that. So he's now apparently fallen along the way, and it's going to be directed by Chris McKay, who previously did the Lego Batman movie, which I've not seen.
It was fun.
So I don't know, because I didn't like. I'm one of those people that didn't like the Lego movie, so I wasn't going to bother with it.
I remember, I remember that movie show.
So I don't know whether it's gonna happening with that, but it's still from what I know we've still got that. We've still got James Wan's going to be producing a Van Helsing movie. Ryan Gosling's going to be Wolfman. So we've still got those in the
universe is still going.
It seems like they, and the thing is as long as they keep.
I think you either like or. Yeah, you either like or you don't like James Wan's horror. I quite like it. So if he's going that way, I mean, The Invisible Man was fucking awesome. For all of its faults, I think The Invisible Man is tremendous. It was like my film of the year, or it was up there. It was a tremendous film. Tremendous.
It's really good. So we'll see how that goes.
Like Invisible Man feels like the hard reset on the numerous attempts at rebooting Universal Horror, where now it's like that's what you need to do. Do that.
Yeah, just do that. Don't worry about creating a universe.
Yeah.
Maybe later down the road, but just do what you're doing and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Joe Cornish is going to be doing Mark Millar's Starlight for Netflix. So I've not read this graphic novel, but I love the sound. I love the sound of it. So I mean, I like Mark Millar's writing for the most part.
I thought you meant like Starlight Express. I was like, how the fuck do you make a film? But then I thought they did make Cats.
They've done. There is a Starlight Express movie, isn't there?
Oh God, I've never seen it. If there is,
pretty sure there is.
There may be.
Maybe I've just seen a performance of it, but
there may well be. I
mean, the whole concept of that fucking show is batshit crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are like people on roller skates who are trains. That's fucking mental.
Yeah.
Anyway, This is about basically, it's kind of like a Flash Gordon guy. So,
nice.
Flash Gordon guy. He goes off. He saves the universe.
So is it like a real campy kind of Flash Gordon type thing, or is it like a serious?
So what happens is he comes back and no one believes him.
Well, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, so no one believes it that he saved the universe. Nobody believes that he's been anywhere.
Okay.
So he.
I like that. That's fun.
He basically settles down. He has a family, and then 35 years later, his ship turns up and says it's the evil is returning. So
he's like middle-aged and kind of
and
bitter, I guess.
That sounds fantastic.
That sounds really fun.
So
I'm definitely
really looking forward to that because Millar signed a thing with Netflix, so they're basically producing most of his comics now, I think.
Right.
Which should be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, that sounds fun. I like the concept.
Yeah, so
I'm always a big fan of that kind of stuff. Those kind of.
I love the idea of like, it's I guess it's you can kind of equate it to Hook. It's like the idea of he grew up and he
like
kind of forgot about it, and
it's very Hook like. It's got like elements of of
and Hook is a very decisive dividing movie.
I like it. I like Hook.
Genuinely hate that movie.
Yeah, I know.
I
really like Hook.
I never got it. I love that movie.
Yeah, I think it's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's a great cast, and I really like Hook. It's also got a bit of a Galaxy Quest esque kind of feel.
Yes.
Obviously not. Obviously in the opposite of Galaxy Quest, I suppose, where it like he really did do it.
It wasn't real. Yeah.
I really like the sound of that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. So good. So Shazam, Fury of the Gods, the second Shazam movie, has got some amazing cast decisions.
Okay.
So we've got Lucy Liu is joining.
Sorry, is this is separate from Black Adam?
So this is not Black Adam. This is Shazam.
So it's
sequel.
a Shazam movie.
Yeah,
it's weird that they're doing Black Adam without Shazam. It's fine. Okay. So Lucy Liu is playing someone.
She is going to be. Oh god, I've lost the bloody thing now. Where is it? Come back, you bastard!
I feel like the odds of you saying a name that I know are going to be very.
Well, she's playing a villain anyway.
Okay.
She's going to be a villain.
Well, any Lucy Liu is good Lucy Liu, so fine.
Exactly. Helen Mirren is also
nice.
I think joining on villain duties, and this is one that I think you'll know this one. Oh, she's playing Calypso.
Oh, I do know Calypso. Holy shit!
Playing Calypso.
Okay, I do know. That. I don't know Shazam very well at all, so I was like, I don't know if we're going to know any of these characters, but I do know Calypso. Yeah.
So Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, I love Pierce Brosnan has had a real renaissance the last sort of 4 or 5 years.
Pierce Brosnan. I do not like Pierce Brosnan's Bond, but I do love Pierce Brosnan.
I find I liked him. I liked him in the 90s, but I feel like
it a lot more now.
Sure, yeah.
But
naturally, that goes without saying.
Let's not go there.
But I do find like I liked him back in the day, but I really like him now. Like now he's playing older characters, villainous characters. I think he's tremendous.
Yeah, he is. He's great. He is going to be playing Dr. Fate.
Oh, that's great casting.
Exactly.
I'm down with that.
I love that casting. I love Dr. Fate, and I think
that is really good.
He's gonna pull that off tremendously. I think that's I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first Shazam movie.
I've still not watched the first one, but
it's really fun. It's
I'm kind of tempted now.
Yeah, I would recommend it. It's a really fun movie.
It looks fun. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that sounds pretty.
Well, I can't argue with that cast.
No, exactly. That's a really nice, something. Sylvester Stallone is confirmed he will be not returning for the next Creed movie, which I guess is kind of it depends on how you look at it, but I think it's probably better for the Creed movies.
I think it's better for the Creed movies. I've enjoyed both Creed movies, the first one more than the sequel, if I'm honest.
I wasn't a massive fan of Creed.
No, I know you weren't.
And I still haven't seen 2 yet. So
it does feel unnecessary after Rocky 5 to have Creed. However, I do think it does, over the course of those 2 movies, give a nice... it's annoying because it's a problem you created yourself. Rocky 5 is a wonderful goodbye to the Rocky character. And then Creed, they kind of created this problem where it's like, well, now we have to give him another goodbye. But I think they did a wonderful job.
So,
and I think Creed 2, if he came back after Creed 2, because at the end of spoilers, the end of Creed 2, he reunites with his estranged son. And that's where that movie ends, and I think it would be very disingenuous to then bring him back again for no apparent reason. Adonis Creed has learned from Rocky. He's, at some point in the Rocky series, obviously Rocky 3, Mick had to die. Mick had to die, and then Rocky becomes the master and whatever. And I feel like we've seen Adonis reach and attain that point now. I really don't know where you go with a Creed sequel, if I'm honest, because, you know, it's just the Rocky formula over and over again. And even Rocky got tiring, right? Watching the Rocky movies. And I love the Rocky movies, but they get tiring. It's the same thing over and over once you get past the first two. And I don't know where you go from here. Certainly the biggest fight emotionally was Creed 2. He's fighting the son of Drago, the man who killed his father. He still has father issues with his father and all of that stuff. So that worked really well. I don't really know where you go from here.
No.
I don't really know, other than you start doing the silly kind of, you know, here we go.
There were rumors, and I'm not just sure whether it's like fans, try to do their own thing, but there and I know fans want it. There are things saying about a Drago movie, Drago, fucking hell, with for fuck's sake,
just following Ivan Drago,
and his son.
Okay, well, that was really compelling, and one of the things that really surprised me about Creed 2 is that you took definitely the most ridiculous Rocky movie, and you managed to turn it into a very serious sequel to Creed, because those two like Creed and Rocky 4 are completely at odds with each other, and yet somehow. And I know that Stallone is recutting. He's doing the director's cut of Rocky 4, which I'm really excited to see. Which is gonna. I think he's just finished it a couple of weeks ago. He's basically obviously cutting out Paulie's robot, and he's redoing all the fights and stuff to make it more realistic and more in line with the rest of the series, so it's less ridiculous. And I think there's definitely a great movie in there.
That is one of those. The one thing I love about the Paulie robot thing.
All of it. I fucking love all of it. It's so ridiculous. The
thing that I love about that is it shows a moment in time.
Oh, so it really does. That's like a date stamp.
Where basically like the studio went, this movie needs a robot. Robots are really popular right at the moment. You know, that Johnny Five thing, that's really good. Why don't we have a robot in this thing? And you just think,
but make it a weird, sexy partner for Paulie.
For Paulie, yeah, it's like it's so.
Do you know, I
weird.
always assumed, right, that scene when Apollo Creed sees Paulie's robot.
Yeah,
I always like to assume that they just didn't tell Carl Weathers anything about what was going to happen, and then they just wheeled that fucking thing out, because his reaction is just like, what the fuck is that? So what is that? Like, it's like such a natural reaction. It's like, what is this doing in this movie? Like, why is this here? I always think as well, like Rocky 5, Paulie's been stupid, and he's invested in this pyramid scheme, and we've lost all of our money, Rock, and we got to sell the house and stuff. And I'm like, you've got a robot with genuine AI. That thing is priceless. Like, sell that, and you will make all your money back.
Oh god, that is.
But no, I'm looking forward to Creed 3. I really don't know where they can go with it, but I've enjoyed the series, so I'm happy to see more. And I am, as much as I love the character of Rocky and I love Stallone, I'm happy to let's leave it there. And,
I think
let's focus on Adonis' story.
That was the other thing they were saying, is that this Ivan Drago movie would have Rocky in it.
Okay.
So that they would be training his Drago's son. So I don't know whether, that's. I think it might just be fan hopes and stuff. But I don't know. It's one of those things that seems to be circling anyway.
I do feel like it's it's definitely time to let Rocky retire and
I think so too.
I mean, I know he's only a trainer now, and obviously it's perfectly conceivable. I mean, Mick was ancient when he was training, right? It just feels like it just feels like there's nothing more to say and no more story to tell.
Yeah, I agree.
His wife died of cancer. Great storyline. Paulie died, and his son was estranged from him again. great storyline. But now it's like, okay, they're all in the past. His wife's dead. He's mourned her. He's got over her through Rocky V and through Creed. He dealt with cancer.
He survived cancer. Yeah, it's like,
which again, wonderful. That the end of that film is fantastic. The end of Creed, where Adonis is helping Rocky walk up the steps that he once ran up. Wonderful stuff.
That is. I think the thing is that there is stuff I really liked about Creed. I didn't like the way it was filmed. I thought it felt very impersonal. It was odd.
Yeah, no, I can totally appreciate that. It's certainly not filmed like the first Rocky movie or the second Rocky movie. It's kind of like it wants to be
distant.
It kind of feels like it wants the grit of the first movie.
Yeah,
but it's filmed in like such a way that it's filmed more like the later Rocky movies, so you don't get that feel. You don't really get that gritty feel of the movie, which I think is what kind of makes Rocky 1 and 2 for me. Is that it's that real sort of grit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be interesting. And I'm glad to be honest that they're retiring Balboa there.
Yeah.
It needs to be Adonis's movie now, and every time Rocky's in the movie, I'm like, well, I just want to see. Rocky,
I would definitely agree with that. I think it's time now for him to move on.
And Michael B. Jordan's fantastic
to completely be his own thing,
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan's amazing. He doesn't need a co-star. Like the guy is incredible. So
yeah.
Cool.
So this is one of those things. So. We know.
I can already tell this is going to be good.
So we know that James Mangold is doing the Indiana Jones movie,
right?
And they've added a female lead.
Okay, co-star.
Now the thing about this is
a co-star or a lead. Co-star.
Well, it says female lead, so I don't know.
Actually, no, they would be the lead because Harrison Ford is like 150 now. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Now Phoebe Waller-Bridge from names familiar
from Fleabag.
Yes.
And
okay.
So I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a good writer. I think she's a great performer. However, there is a lot of woke stuff going on with, her in general, and she was also the voice of the robot in Solo.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the robot.
Yeah, and the thing
is,
she's done some of the writing for the Bond movie, and I like her writing, but I'm not sure that her writing would go well with the Bond. So that was already a thing, and now I'm not sure what they're going to do with this. How this is going to work with Indy. It's I'm not convinced that it should be another one anyway. I think maybe they should just keep as the last one was the last one. But
personally, I think the last one shouldn't have existed. So
I think.
But given that it's
the last one more than a lot of people do. I still think it's not a great movie.
It needs to be there. It's got its moments, sure. It's sorry, I should clarify. It certainly has its moments.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather they didn't because the first three are fucking glorious.
And part of me does think maybe they should do something to do a proper finishing. Maybe, I don't know, but this does not fill me with, hope. Yeah, it's a bit, maybe I'm just being a bit of a dick. I don't know.
Well,
but
I don't know that that's the case. I would say that for me, from my perspective, it literally doesn't matter who you cast in this movie, unless it's a recast of Indiana Jones. I just think it's fucking doomed to begin with. Unless it's like you're doing young Indiana and it's Indiana Jones, is Harrison Ford remembering something from his past, maybe, and then
like they were supposed to be doing with Die Hard.
Oh yeah, like they were supposed to be doing with Die Hard. So I don't know. I just think like recast or just don't really.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think even if they do recast, I'm not sure I would watch a recast that either. Because again,
the main thing that, if I'm honest, the main thing that worries me is that Disney are in charge of it.
Yep.
And I've seen what they've done to practically everything else.
Exactly.
So...
That's why that's what the big alarm bells are ringing. I think so far they've put their agenda in everything they've
It's
touched
not even I get that, but even like putting agenda aside, just what a fucking mess they've made of like Star Wars. Like, how do you make a trilogy to one of the biggest, most expensive things on the planet and pay $4 billion and not plan the trilogy in advance and just make it up as you go along and just give it to random directors and just be like, do what you want? Like, how do you make that kind of mistake?
Yeah, but it's not even that. Like, it's even worse than that. There was a plan.
And they threw it out the window. Yeah, of course. Well, Lucas had a plan, right? And it's fine. It's fine. Obviously, you buy something, you do what you want with it. And I think it's fine to go like, nah, we're not going to use Lucas's vision. Cool, but you better have a plan at that point, which you clearly didn't, having watched them. So it worries me that it's Disney, and they've produced great stuff. I hear Mandalorian season 2 is fantastic. I've not watched
Mandalorian season 2 is great. You really should.
So there's certainly potential. I mean, however, but it does worry me.
After what they did to Gina Carano, I do not think I will ever watch any more of it.
Oh, she's gone now, isn't she? They
completely fired her. Like,
God, I forgot about that.
Unjustified, in my opinion. But there you go.
Yeah, I just think, just fucking Indiana Jones, man. It's just like it's too late. He's too old. Just stop. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, or recast, because like, what is Harrison? How old is Harrison Ford now?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know, for the sake of this podcast, listening to clicky keys, I'm going to find.
Yeah. I was just about to do it myself, but I'll let you do it.
Like, I know that
he's got to be in his 70s, isn't he?
He is 78 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say he's really
70. Indiana Jones is now. Yeah, Indiana Jones is old enough to watch A New Hope in the cinema. That's ridiculous.
And the thing is if Indy is the same age, let's say he is, what year would that make this being made in? Because I'm
trying to think of moments in Indiana Jones that set it in a specific year. I guess, but burning, kind of.
The Last Crusade is got to be like 43 or something, isn't it? 43, 44 maybe.
38.
Oh, I thought, is it earlier than that? I thought the last. Oh, yes. In that case, the war hasn't probably started yet. Then, so
it's early, isn't it? It's just the war's kind of getting going.
Yeah, the Poland and Czechoslovakia and stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually. Okay, so if Crusade is 38, what was it?
Hang on, he was 13. 50s? He was 13 in 1912.
Oh, okay.
I'm literally here with it. I'm literally working this out with a calculator now. So I really want to know. So,
yeah, my maths is fucking awful, so I'll leave it to you to do.
I'm just curious as to how. Hang on. So Harrison Ford is 78.
Okay. Yeah.
So
fun with maths, kid.
So 78 minus 13. That would be 65. So 1912. This is a fun podcast, isn't it? This is what you listen for. 1912. What did I just say? Jesus Christ. Let's start again. Let's do it again. Right.
I'm sure that there are people working this out.
It was 78, wasn't it? It was 78. 78. Yeah, 78. Minus 13. 65. Okay, so 65. So, let's see. 1912.
So what? So does it put him in the 60s or?
Yeah, 77.
1977.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he could watch Star Wars legitimately in this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could go see Star Wars.
So can we have that movie? Can the next Indiana Jones movie just be Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones mumbling in complaint as he watches Star Wars?
Oh, that would be so good.
They should at least, if they're gonna, they won't set it in the 70s, will they? They'll pretend like he's younger.
I reckon they'll put it in the 60s. I reckon that's when they're gonna probably put it.
Yeah, they'll probably try and shave a decade off or something. If they set it in the 70s,
because the thing is,
they have to do that gag. They can't ignore the fact that Star Wars is around. They'd have to at least have it on a cinema, screen.
Well, I'm guessing they're gonna put it in. They're gonna put the. If Waller-Bridge is going to be, if they put it in the 60s, she's going to be one of those they're going to do the whole sort of the feminist thing, aren't they, for the 60s?
That would make sense. Yeah.
So, that could be good. It might be just awful if.
But even if you said it then, he's still fucking ancient. What is he going to do?
I don't know. I do not know.
I mean, really, at that point, the only thing he can do, he can play. Senior. He can play Indiana Jones. He can play.
Yeah.
God, I forgot Indiana Jones's real name. Dr. Jones Senior. He can play Senior.
Henry Jones.
Henry Jones.
Henry Jones Jr.
He could play Henry.
Yeah,
he could play
Henry Senior. Sorry.
Obviously, he would be Henry Jr., but he could play the role as if he was Henry Jones Sr.
Are they gonna recast?
But then Shia LaBeouf isn't coming back, I guess.
I presume he's not. I don't know whether they're going to recast or whether they're just going to gloss over.
Yeah, who knows?
Son.
Sounds messy. Just leave it. Leave it alone.
I think that's a conclusion. So moving on. But
Sorry, guys, that took forever.
Yeah,
I was trying to work out the but yeah, 77 is literally when Star Wars came out. So.
Hey, it was funny. It was funny. I think if that's
I had a good time. It's a free podcast. Fuck off. So anyway, yeah. What's the other?
Have you seen the Ghostbusters Afterlife?
The fan service trailer. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I don't. Whatever.
The thing is that
it felt very forced, but I had fun.
I was kind of hopeful for this movie until that point.
See, I said the same to Nick. I was like, my opinion of this movie's kind of gone down now.
It feels like they want a Baby Yoda. It's like,
ooh, I didn't think about it like that. I just thought it looked really it was like an obvious shoe horned in.
It was like,
reference.
it felt like, oh look, merchandise.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to be selling.
Everybody's going to want a baby Stay Puft.
Yeah, actually, I kind of do.
And it's like, oh no, don't do that! Please don't do that. I was kind of hopeful for this, and now that's making me kind of feel a bit. So I don't know. I'm still hopeful because it's got the original guys in. The ones that are still around. And
it does definitely have. Certainly, the first trailer had a lovely feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. It's gonna be fucking better than that awful
reboot. The reboot was awful.
It's gotta be. It can't be as bad as that. I mean, it just.
Well, you'd hope not. I will never put it past people to make things worse. But
no.
But certainly the first trailer was hopeful. And what I like about the first trailer is that it is telling a different story. It's not just rehashing Ghostbusters. They're not just rehashing it with a sequel. They are. It's not like, these guys in New York and they find out their fathers are the Ghostbusters and then they're Ghostbusters and or they meet the Ghostbusters and they take the equipment.
Yeah, I think
it is at least like its own story.
Yeah, I think the main kids are going to be. I think they're going to be the grandchildren of Egon. I think, aren't
they?
At least
some of them are. I guess the two main kids, which is fine. But the fact that it's a kids, it's about the kids and it's not about the burnt out New Yorkers. It's different enough to where it's interesting. I've always said though, I think Ghostbusters was fucking perfection in its time, and even Ghostbusters 2 ain't great, really. I mean, it's carried by its performances.
Ghostbusters 2, I think, was a complete fuck up. I think that
they never should have made a sequel.
Everybody involved, I think they were lied to.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, what's his name? Peter. Why am I blanking on his name? Peter Venkman.
Yeah. Peter Venkman. Bill Murray.
Said,
sorry,
Bill
you meant the actor. Sorry,
God.
I was like, yeah. What about
my
Peter
brain
Venkman?
was completely blanking on Bill Murray. No, he said that he feels that he was tricked into that movie because what they told him they were going to film and what they filmed was not the same thing at all.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he says they completely tricked him.
I guess that's why he was probably quite bitter towards the franchise ever since.
Yeah,
because he wasn't keen on returning ever again, was he?
No.
But I'm still hopeful for it. But I agree, the teaser with the Stay Puft Minis did feel very shoehorned in. It felt very
it certainly gave me pause, and so I'm not sure. I'm still hopeful, but
I'm hopeful. But like you, I was a little less once I saw it. I don't hate the scene. It's fine. It was just a bit like, that was a bit unnecessary. But again, that could be a very minor moment and a bit of fun in the movie that has been taken and made the focus of and kind of messed up everyone's perception of it now, where really it's just a little moment in the movie and that's it.
Yeah.
Although we do have the Gozer dog in the first trailer, because that's definitely the Gozer dog's foot. But then again, I guess they could argue that, because I'm assuming it's the trap thing that's under the farm that's now starting to fail and is letting out everything. So I guess you could argue that, so it's letting out everything they caught or defeated is kind of freed. So Gozer's free and all that kind of stuff is kind of or the Gozer dogs and stuff are all going to come back. So I can see they can work it into the story. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But like you, I didn't hate the scene, but it did feel very forced. And I was like, oh, is this representative of the whole film, or is this just a moment that you've taken for the
hopefully not. But it just felt a little.
I agree.
Yeah, dodgy.
And also, I forgot that it even happened about 5 minutes after I watched it until you just brought it up. So didn't make much of an impact.
Well, I guess that's something. Okay. I should mention Paul Ritter, who was 54. He died of a brain tumor. He was a great actor. He was in. He's mostly known for Friday Night Dinner.
Yes.
But he was in Vera, and he was in Cold Feet, and he was also phenomenal in Chernobyl. He is such a bastard in Chernobyl.
Which is weird, because we were talking about Chernobyl during our Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Oh no, Godzilla 1954.
The Godzilla one.
Yeah.
He was a great actor, so he will be sadly missed. I think that's mostly it. There's a weird they're remaking Goodnight Mommy for some reason. With Naomi Watts, which is really weird. You'd have thought Naomi Watts should stay away from remakes.
Yeah. You'd think she would have learned by now.
But yes, I don't know why you would. Have you seen Goodnight Mummy?
No.
Do you know what it's about?
No.
It's about two kids who have to go and live, two like small children who have to go and live with their mother.
Okay.
And when they get there, she's had
most kids do that by default.
Well, yeah, I can't remember the exact specifics of the beginning, but
they're estranged, I guess.
They end up going to sort of live with her, and she's had some sort of procedure.
Okay.
So she's all bandaged up, and the kids start suspecting that she's not their mother.
That sounds quite fun.
And weird stuff happens and weird things, and it's a really good movie, but I don't understand why you would remake it. It was only made in 2014, so and it's a really great movie. Doesn't need a remake. It's very odd.
That's odd.
Very, very strange. But I think that's mostly it for.
Wonderful. But yes, thank you everybody. What are we going to watch next time? Because I guess we need a movie to watch now.
I think we were going to do this a while ago, and then Godzilla came up.
That's quite timely. We were just talking about it.
Exactly that. We will do Ghostbusters.
Yes, Ghostbusters.
Let's
Why
do Ghostbusters.
not? There is a lot to talk about there, and one of the best films. I love that film. I love it. It's not in my top 10, but it probably should be every time I think about it.
It's one of those movies that is straight from my childhood.
Lightning in a bottle, never to be reproduced ever again. But they will continue to try.
That's all all we shall say for now.
Yes, absolutely. Can't wait. We shall do that. So thank you, everybody. Take care, and we shall catch you next time.
Bye.